Voters in Minnesota will be going to the polls in just 2 days to cast their primary ballots. Key elections are the U.S. Senate race and the governor's race on the Republican side, and a surprising state auditor's race on the DFL side. Joining us to talk about the primaries, political analyst and Humphrey School professor Larry Jacobs. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good to be with you.
All right, let's talk about this primary here. First of all, since we just had Mike McFadden on, your thoughts about his likelihood of winning this primary?
It's a done deal.
He's going to win.
He's going to win. Jim Abler, who's a really skilled and widely admired state legislator, really doesn't have much of a chance.
All right. Let's talk, before we get to the governor's race, about the turnout. So far, the number of people voting early, which they've been able to do since June, very low. What is the turnout going to be here?
It's going to be very low. Back in 2010, which was the previous midterm election, we saw turnout about 16% or a bit more. It's quite likely to be 9% or even a bit low. So we're looking at 200,000 to maybe 300,000 voters as compared to well more than 400,000 back in 2010. Low turnout, probably going to be a close race, and the candidate who's able to get a better turnout for their supporters will win.
All right, let's talk about the tight race for governor on the Republican side. You've got 4 very viable candidates. Doesn't this low turnout that you're talking about favor Jeff Johnson, the party-endorsed candidate?
It's a credible story. Jeff Johnson was a surprise winner of the endorsement at the Republican convention, and that means that the Republican Party now is putting its resources behind its endorsed candidate. And the big story here is that the Republican Party is no longer deeply in debt and dysfunctional. Under its new leader, Keith Downey, it's really come roaring back. So that is a major advantage. But you also have 3 other candidates who, in the case of Scott Honor, has quite a bit of money and what looks like a decent organization. You've got both Marty Seifert and Kurt Zellers, who were leaders in the Minnesota legislature. They know a lot of people around the state and have put together a good organization. So it's going to be very close, I think.
All right, so the winner comes out with what, 30% of the vote?
It could be close. In fact, some people are talking about a recount because it could be that close. So it's going to be very tight.
All right, obviously I think it's less than 1%, as if we can remember from the Al Franken, Norm Coleman race a few years ago. In terms of, there's also a very surprising race for state auditor, with the incumbent Rebecca Otto getting a last-minute surprise challenge from former House Minority Leader Matt Intenza. Your thoughts about that race?
You know, Matt Intenza is not well liked within the DFL party, not well liked among Republicans either, but he had a series of episodes the last time he tried to run where, in one case, he was spying on some of the front runners in the Democratic Party, which didn't endear them to him. So he jumps in the last minute. Otto is pretty widely respected and liked in the Democratic Party. He's using his own money to fund it. I'm not sure where this goes. It really seems to have backlashed on him once again.
All right, and we'll obviously see on Tuesday. You know, it's interesting, I was speaking with Rebecca Otto, and she said one of the places she's focusing is District 60B, which is one of the most heated and bitter races of all. It's this primary race, the Democratic primary for the incumbent, Phyllis Khan, against school board member Mohammed Noor. Extraordinary dynamics here.
It's an absolutely incredible race, and again, the winner of this race will be a Democrat, and they will almost certainly win the general election. It will remain a Democratic race. The battle is within the Democratic Party, and it is one more reflection of the rising political power of the Somali community. Phyllis Khan, widely respected, nationally recognized state legislator, who's up against really this surge of Somali political power.
All right, well, Larry Jacobs, thank you so much, as always, for coming in and sharing your knowledge and insights with us.
Good to be with you.
All right.